Well, good morning everyone. Welcome to the allotment. It's Saturday the 12th of September today. It's a little bit after 8:30 in the morning. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I did a allotment update, so I thought I'd bring the camera down and show you around. You probably see quite a bit of difference. For example, I think may or may not have seen this plot dug before, but certainly you won't have seen the plot at the end dug. So things are moving into autumn now, and it's just starting to rain, so we might cut this a bit short, but we'll carry on and see what happens, and I'll give you a tour around. Let's start with the runner beans and the French climbing beans. They're still doing quite well, although I notice there's quite a few leaves now starting to turn yellow and brown, so I think I'm going to have a look at them in a bit, but probably what I'm going to do now is just let what's left on there go to seed, and we'll see what happens. It's now starting to rain quite hard, but we'll carry on. Doesn't seem to be affecting the camera too much. This plot, as you know, had peas, it had onions and shallots on, and they now all have been lifted, and peas went some time ago, and I've dug that over. I've put a little bit of compost out of the compost bin on top. I was thinking about green manure on this plot, but I'm not so sure now. I did sow this one a couple of weeks ago with green manure, and as you can see, not a lot has happened. There's a few weeds, so I keep weeding it, but none of the green manure seems to have germinated, so not quite sure what I'm going to do there. We'll see. Anyway, while we're here, let's just turn around. I'm really impressed with these dahlias. Don't they look pretty? Look. Don't know how well this is showing up, the colours, but got bright yellows and pinks, as well as dark reds and purples. Really pleased with them. Sweet corn, looks like we've got a few cobs, which the female flowers on are starting to turn brown, so possibly there are some sweet corns on there. Not as many as I would have expected, and likewise, although we've had reasonable numbers of courgettes off of here, not nearly as many as we normally get, so I think this area suffers a little bit from being next to the shed, and as a result doesn't quite get the same kind of sun and temperature as other areas, so I'm not quite sure, but certainly no other things in this bed in the past haven't done quite so well, so I'm not quite sure what to do, but I'll have to ponder on that one over the winter, I think, and see. Let's wander on down. Radishes never came to anything. I think I showed you them in a previous video or two, so they all came out last weekend. Beetroots are doing well. We've had good beetroot harvests, all about that size or bigger, so that's my thumb for comparison. Had some sort of tennis ball size ones, so I'll pull a few more of those today, come back and get that one in a bit. And the lettuce have all now finally gone over. They were either gone to seed or the slugs had them, so the Cavolo Nero, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli bed, I think what I'm going to do this weekend, if I get a chance and don't get too wet, is probably bring the end back to about this one, so bring it back one section, just because the broccoli that's in that end is now all gone. It's gone to seed, so that can come out, and there's only one cauliflower left, which I don't think is going to do anything, and the rest is Cavolo Nero, which I think will keep going. I don't know how much of that you can see, but I think that will keep going right the way through the winter, or certainly into the autumn, and hopefully into the new year with a bit of luck. So I think we'll just tidy this end up and probably dig this over, much like we've done this little bit here. What was on here before? Not a lot on this bit. On the end with the sweet peas, they had their best, so I took them out last week, dug all this over, and it's going to be autumn sown broad beans, overwintering broad beans, when I can get the seed. We haven't had any in the allotment shop yet. I went in there last weekend and she was expecting the order, but it hasn't arrived. So I think I'll try in a minute, and if they've got them, I'll get them sown either this weekend or next weekend, hopefully. What I have managed to do is this little bed here that's kind of square. I've just marked it with 4 sticks, although there's something's been having a dig. This is a garlic, and as I say, something's been having a dig. I see that there is one of the bulbs that's been hoiked out of the ground, so I pop that back in. Never had that happen before. Don't know what might that have been. Basically there were 2 bulbs of garlic that I've split and put the individual cloves in, so probably about 20 cloves or so. Hoping that we'll get a good crop. We did have the previous years. They obviously need a winter and a frost to properly set cloves, so we'll see what happens, but hopefully we'll get some in the late spring, early summer. I'm going to try and dig a parsnip today, see what happens. They look like they're about ready. Some of them are starting to lose colour on the leaves. I haven't had a frost yet, obviously, and they always taste sweeter after a frost, but I'm interested to see what's going on there. And as you can see, leek's doing very well. I need to do a bit of weeding in there today. And I think for tea tonight we're having leek and potato soup, so I need to dig a couple of those. That's my plan at any rate. Also need to staple her hat back on. Poor girl. Was that the bloke? I can't remember. I've got one girl and one woman, one male and one female. Anyway, purple sprouting, doing well. Brussels sprouts, well, they're still, I don't know what's wrong with the Brussels. I really don't. I'm a bit disappointed with them, as I've said before. They just don't seem to be growing at all. Got no height. There's certainly sprouts on there, I can see them, as well as a big slug, which I'll deal with in a minute. But they've just not got any height. And the celeriac should be about ready, so I think I might have an experimental dig in a minute and just see what happens. If I can show you the results, I will. This is a job for today. I've brought a couple of additional stakes down, although you probably can't see it because I'm standing a bit close, but that's my apple tree, which we've had some fantastic apples off of this year. Unfortunately, it's very off centre, so I'm going to try and straighten that up. I've got a couple of posts. I just thought I'd give it a bit of additional support and see if we can't get it up straight. Otherwise, my fear is it's going to keep going in that direction and then potentially just collapse. I think the weight of the fruit this year hasn't helped. We've had so much that it's dragged it over, but we'll see. I think that's probably about it. I might cut in a couple of additionals if I can get the parsnips and the celeriac, so you can just see what the results are. But otherwise, it's now stopped raining, which is good. I might nip over the allotment shop and see if the broad beans are in before I do anything else, because then I can get them in while the ground's damp. That would be good. So anyway, as I say, if I can cut some additional bits in, I will. If not, thanks for watching. I hope you're having a good weekend wherever you are, and we'll speak again soon. Take care now. Bye bye. Okay folks, so as I said, I was going to dig a couple of parsnips and a celeriac just to see what was going on. Parsnips, not too bad. They're obviously on the left, and the bit it's one of my gloves in the middle, just for a size comparison. So they're pretty good, pretty happy, particularly the one on the far left. That's good. Unfortunately, I managed to stick the fork in them, so we'll have to eat them fairly quickly. The celeriac, on the other hand, and I think I'm going to need to use the macro feature on the camera to show you this, but not very big at all. In fact, if that's my thumb, that bit is the celeriac bulb. All of this here is roots, similarly that bit, and that's all roots. So very unimpressed with those. I will clean them up a bit and see if there's anything on there that's edible at all. Otherwise I think what I'm going to do is leave the others in the ground, see what happens, see if they come on a bit more, but really don't know what to say. They're just not done what I thought they were going to do. So parsnips looking good. Again, I'll probably leave the rest of the parsnips to carry on growing, get a bit of frost on them, but we'll have those this weekend. The celeriac, well, yeah, they are what they are. I don't think we're going to be doing very much with those, and they were an experiment. I always try and do something once, one plant or one set of seeds each year that I've not grown before, and that was this year's. I think, needless to say, I won't be repeating them next year. I'll be looking for something else maybe to join that's new. It's a shame, but there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check back soon. Bye. So there we go, that's the apple tree with an additional support. I don't know whether you can tell, but it's definitely much straighter and more upright than it was. All I've done is simply banged another post in at 45° or thereabouts angle, and tied it back to the original post. We'll keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't slip, but that should hopefully hold it in place, at least for now. I'm just going to check some of these other ties aren't too tight, or too loose for that matter. There's a couple on there. This stuff's really good. This is I don't know what it is really, but it's like a plastic hose that you can use for tying up plants and things, and because it's plastic it's got quite a bit of elasticity in it, but not so much that it just stretches too far, but it allows for a bit of growth. So as you can probably see, I can move that, I don't know if you can see, but there's enough give in it so it doesn't either snap or cut too much into the trunk of the tree. Just noticed that possibly a little bit of, let's just switch that over, possibly a bit of rot in there, so I need to have a check of that, otherwise we're going to have to take the top of the tree off, which wouldn't be good. So oh, I can't get that back, there you go. So yeah, that's that job done as well. I think it's going to be a day of little jobs like that between the showers. No broad bean seeds, so they won't be going in today, but we've got plenty of time, so that's no problem. So yeah, I shall crack on. I think we'll be doing the cabbage bed next. Keep watching. Well, this is something I've just noticed that I'm not very happy about. This is the plastic cloche frame that I built at the beginning of the year. So I can't remember when. Somewhere in my videos is a video of me making it, but I would have said it was February, March time, and as you can see, the weather has just caused the plastic to deteriorate. It's just gone completely brittle. I don't know. So I don't think I'm going to be able to repair that without, I might try a bit of duct tape or something on it, but I just don't think it's, I think it's so brittle now that it's not going to last. So I'm really disappointed about that. That plastic wasn't that cheap. It would have been for good value for money if it had done maybe sort of between 3 or 4 years, but not even lasting a full season. That's really disappointing. So as they say, buyer beware, but yeah, that was an eBay, the plastic was an eBay purchase. The wood just came from Wicks, and I think the plastic pipe was some that I had anyway, so it was one of those kind of make from bits and pieces rather than putting too much expense in. But I know the plastic wasn't all that cheap. It was the most expensive part, even compared to the wood, and I particularly went for a higher grade because I wanted it to last. Obviously not a high enough grade. Anyway, there you go. We shall see. Maybe cover it with fleece or something else, but yeah, as I say, we'll see. I'm disappointed, very disappointed with that, but there you go, that's gardening for you. I have cleared, just take you around while I've got the camera running. Have cleared back, just dug out the old broccoli plants there on the compost heap, and I think what I'm going to do, keeps trying to rain, but it's not really trying that hard. I think I'm just going to dig that end of the bed back as far as the path, and leave it at that for now. I keep thinking I ought to also, still got the hoses out as you can see, and probably put those back on the reel for the winter. Another little job to do today. So yeah, I don't know whether there'll be any more. Might stick something on the end from the potting shed, and we'll see. So if not, thanks for watching. Hope you like the videos. Take care, bye. Well, there you go, that's about half of that section on the end by the cabbages, or what was the cabbages and broccoli dug. I shall finish the rest of this off in between the showers, and then I think probably as I take the beetroot out, I'll head that way to join up with the other bit that's dug at the top, and then the remainder that's currently the Cavolo Nero under the screening there, as and when that will get dug. When the beans come over, I can join it up that way as well, and likewise sweet corn and so on when that comes out. I think most of this will be under cover most of the winter anyway, so that's quite a bit of digging done already, and it's only the middle of September, so that's pretty impressive. This will probably be the last section from the plot. I'll try and tag something on the end from the potting shed, but otherwise thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a good weekend. Take care now, bye bye.